Hey everyone, it's Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard, and today I'm going to be showing you a lexical analyzer that I built in Unified Functional Testing, that's UFT from Micro Focus. It's done in VB Script. You could do this in Java using LeanFT. So what is a lexical analyzer? It takes plain English and converts it into code in order to execute your test cases. So in this case, I'm going to go open up my test automation sandbox called candymapper.com. We're going to click on the Get in Touch button. We're going to populate one of the fields with my first name, Paul, and click on Send, which is then going to generate an error message that says we should put in a valid email address. We'll then put in my email address into the email field, add a hello into the message field, and then click the send button. And lastly, we're going to verify that thank you for your inquiry appeared on the screen. Let's go give it a run and see what it looks like. So the first thing we need to do is to close out the browser that I've already got open. And we'll also have a message that says what the test case is going to do. We're going to verify that an error message displays. So we closed out our browser and we're going to relaunch and jump over to Google. We also did class switching because that Get in Touch button, that's actually a link. So we found it as a completely different class. It found 3 webEdit objects that matched the description that I was looking for name. It also found 15 web elements that matched please enter a valid email address. It did highlight it and found it, so that's good. And it also found 3 web edits that match email. It just populated that, and then it also looks for message and found 3 web edits that match that as well. But it did find the right one. It's also checking to make sure that the objects are visible. Now in this case, it found 14 objects that matched the message that we're looking for at the end. Thank you for your inquiry. And that's because all those objects are cascading parent objects of the one we're looking for. Now let's see if we can cause an error. We'll give it another run. Oh look, a message just came through indicating that my test actually passed because it actually sent me an email. So I'm going to change what we're going to verify and give this one more run and take a look a little bit more into what this lexical analyzer is actually doing. We are extracting out keywords like launch out of the text that we had, and we are building code. This is dynamically executable code that is launching our website and then looking for our buttons. We did a quick flash. We did just one highlight to show that that is the object that we are looking for. And now it's going to go and try and find that message, please enter a valid email address, and it's going to go through quite a few objects and not find a match for any of it. Every web element, and it says it did not find this. So I'm going to stop this. Now let's see what happens when I run this for a third time. And it's going to say, do I want to debug that last line we executed? Yes, I do. And you'll notice that we ended up stopping on this line of code, line 239. Already failed will nullify a function. So if we didn't find a web button, we're not even going to try to attempt to click it. We start by extracting out a keyword and then looking for any prepositions that are not within inside of quotes and start removing them. We are using print statements to output detail about the test run into the output window, but even these can be nullified. Next, we're identifying what type of class elements, whether the object name. We're pulling out the property we're going to search for in the inner text, and we're also going to see a validation that we're going to do is to do whether it exists. So we know that we are doing a verification. We're jumping down to whether it exists or does not exist. It actually will support negative testing. And now you can see it's actually searching all of the objects that are out there, 596 of them, to see if it can find the one that's supposed to be the match. Now let's take a look at what the results of this test looks like. And here you can see that we're actually taking the text and converting it directly over to code. So we did a launch candy mapper, and we converted that into using the launch function and populating with the data. Now, I didn't write that code. It's not embedded. It's not hard-coded in there. It's actually being created in a string and then executed on the fly. So you can change that website from Candy Mapper to whatever it is that you want. And of course, we also have all the different properties that were used to create that programmatic description to find those objects. So here we also have the data listed in there, and the data is being passed in this case as a variable. It does say GS data, which means it's a global string, so I don't necessarily have to have that data in that string. It's just being used by the variable in a dynamically generated line of code. All right, folks, that is a lexical analyzer converting plain English into code and doing it all in Micro Focus UFT. I hope you enjoyed this demo. My name is Paul Grossman. I'm the Dark Arts Wizard up on Twitter. And have yourself a great day.